crafters, welcome back to Guys Craft 2, and I am John. Thanks for joining, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to really work with you all and actually do some project work, because it seems like all we've been doing is shopping sprees and that. This is unfortunately going to end up probably a part A, part B, part C project, but sometimes that's just the way we have to do to get things done. We have real jobs, unfortunately, outside of our hobbies or the things that we really enjoy the most. But I had bought and purchased this because I am a big geek when it comes to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So later this year, you'll actually get to see our Christmas decorations. I've told you numerous times, Curtis and I are probably way over the top when it comes to Christmas. It is what it is. I actually have a Grinch tree. It is all in the lime green, in the Grinch color. Actually bends over. It's all hung over, leaning over with a big red ornament ball on it. And it's sparsely decorated, just because it's Grinch, right? But underneath it, the coolest thing is we have a lot of the Grinch Village that we've purchased from Department 57. So it really makes a cool display in our house in the front window. So we'll share that with you when it comes time for the holidays. But I say all that to say I really want to get to this Grinch quilt. I have looked and looked and looked and tried to decide what I want to do with this layer cake. It's the How the Grinch Stole Christmas Layer Cake 2021 by Robert Kaufman. I had to actually search around because, as I've told you before, we didn't start quilting until July of 22, and really haven't gotten into any activities in that until like 2023. So I was able to finally get my hands on a set. Excited to get this started. I had found this layer cake on the Fat Quarter Shop called the Lemonade Layer Cake. Really liked the idea behind it. Wanted to use that and do some things. But unfortunately, that actually takes 3 layer cakes, and it's just a lot more than I want to fool with or want to chase after. So what I'm looking at is, now that I'm going to open this finally and get to spend a little time playing with it, I think since this has 42 squares, that I'm going to make 7 rows of 6 going across. I will probably put all 6 of these fabrics together. So each row will have 6 layer cakes going across. There will be 7 rows, so it gives me the nice length I want. I think what I'm going to do is use that layer cake idea and steal out my AccuQuilt cutter to actually cut the border pieces to go in between each one of these layers. So let me grab that. Sorry, I'm going to be off camera for a minute, but such is life until I can figure out how to do things a little bit more routine. At some point, we will share and kind of tour you around our craft space and craft areas. We use what we affectionately call the utility room, is where I have fortunately a really big space to cut fabrics and play with in that. In between, I have I actually use our spare bedroom for the ironing, and so that's where I keep the ironing board and all that right now set up. So that's a second room that I have to work out of. And then the third room I get to work out of is our third bedroom, which has now became our craft room for John. And then we carved out a little space in it for Curtis, so he has a spot to work out of as well. So I bought the AccuQuilt probably August, September last year. Bought entirely too many dies. Actually bought every one of the cubes. So I have any size cube that you want or that you can imagine. That said, what I do have that I bought is the rectangle die. That's 3.5 by 6.5. So I think what we'll actually do is I'm going to find companion fabrics that go with this and use that along the borders. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is using 6-layer cakes, 6 pieces going across. Sew those together. I'll come back and cut out what I'm going to consider coordinating solid colors, because this already has a lot of other colors than that going on in it. And so I want to be able to break that up. So now that I look, I've got 3 Grinch Christmases here. I've got another red fabric that I can put down. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh goodness, this stuff sticks together. 4, 5, 6, and I said 7, right? So 7. All right, so let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll have to put a Grinch down here at the bottom, right? Because you can never have too much Grinch going on. And hopefully I'll get this pinned up. As you can see, I do a lot on the table just because I'm fortunate enough to have this big table. But at the same time, I do have a nice big blank wall that I can work off of too. I just don't do it as often, and you're going to see me probably run around on camera a little bit tonight too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the 5th one, and then we come back over here and maybe start here is the 6th, and here's the 7th. All right, so now that kind of gives me at least a red in every row. And so all I'm doing at this point is trying to get this laid out so I can work with these fabrics in between. And for now, I'm just going to kind of jump this around until I get some colors that I can really start to play with. So, because this has, I'm just now getting down to some of the whites and colors in here. So now I'm getting into, God, I love this one. Something as simple as this little white piece of fabric. It's got the green wreath with a big red bow on top, and it's got the Grinch peeking out of some of the wreaths, but actually not every wreath. So how cool is that? This is really going to be an exciting blanket for us. It may end up on Etsy at some point to be sold off, but I don't know. I tell you what, I do love my Grinch, and but I'm not sure that I'm ready to make this into a king size quilt, which is what really is required for our bed, because that's what we have in our master bedroom. So I'm not sure I'm really ready to tackle that size, something that big. But that said, let's keep seeing how we progress and kind of move these different colors along. I have to say, you know what, if I ever met Robert Kaufman, he would probably be my bestie. I just love a lot of the fabrics that he puts out, a lot of the designs in that. I have been so happy with the quality of the fabrics that he has, and it's just exciting to work with his stuff. All right, so let's keep putting this out. Now I'm getting into the lime green, which to me is just screams Grinch, all about the Grinch. So that said, I'm anxious to get these laid out enough where I can get to the store, because of course I don't have the fabrics I'm going to want to match these up and to give me the different border shades that I'm going to want. I think I am going to do solid colors in the border, but instead of just running a solid 3-inch border or whatever in between each one of these, I think I do want to put use this AccuQuilt die that's 3.5 by 6.5, and actually cut that so that it has, so I'm able to grab maybe a red, maybe a white, but definitely a red, a couple of greens, and maybe even a blue to tie back in to some of these. So that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to get all these laid out, decide how and where each of these is going to end up. I am not cutting this layer cake up. I am going to allow it just to be the way it is, and then get these sewn together, and then I will be back to work on the borders that I put in between to build this out um, from top to bottom, and then think about the sashing, the borders. I think it's supposed to be sashing, so we'll see. Still learning a lot of terminology, but once I get there, we'll get there. So, folks, thanks for tuning in to Guys Craft 2. I'm John. If you like following along with what we're doing, and you can see that my brain can be a little scattered at times, that's cool. This is Guys Craft 2. Hit that subscribe button and let us know that you enjoy hearing and following along with what we're doing. Give us a thumbs up if you like today's video. Hit that bell so you're notified next time that we go live, and hope to see you soon. Happy crafting.